Yo, the Takeaway Podcast is designed to educate and uplift outside the realm of the pulpit. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time.
And while y'all at it, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I want you to be the first to be notified when we drop new content. And remember to hit that like button. It's free 99. Why not? And while you at it, share it. We want this to get out to Lottie Dottie and everybody.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You are on the Takeaway Podcast, and I'm here with my mentor. I'm here with my mentor. He won't claim me, but stop what you're doing right now. This is gonna be a good one. Stop what you're doing right now. This is going to be a good one. Like, comment, share, subscribe to whatever media platform you're watching this on, you're listening to, you're in the gym, whatever you're doing. Go ahead and share right now because this guy is really inspirational. When I think of him, I think of inspiration, how things go from one step to another. And, this is really inspirational. Like, for real.
Well,
like,
thank you.
No, for real. I mean, I've been here a little bit of your journey. Hey, so today we're here with my main man, Stanley Brizz. And you are, I mean, you have 35 organizations, but right now you are the founder of
Brevard Prevention Coalition.
Brevard Prevention Coalition.
I even wore the shirt today.
Yeah, I see that.
I didn't forget.
I see
You're
that.
gonna keep messing with me doing this too, right?
Actually,
I get it.
And it was when did you start Brevard Prevention Coalition?
So, as an organization, the official date was 2018.
Okay.
But prior to that, we were already working as a coalition.
Yes.
It really was an informal, I say informal, it was a formal group, advisory council, whatever you may want to call it, under other individuals in the county.
Yes.
And I was with another organization at the time and placed on that committee. And
so you were placed on the Brevard Prevention Coalition committee?
It was called Brevard Youth Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition.
Okay.
Long title.
Name. Yeah.
We used to abbreviate it BISAP. And so back in the day, Kay Heimer with Prevent of Brevard used to oversee that.
Okay.
And she retired, passed it on to someone else, and that someone else moved on to something and ended up passing it on to me because I was working in prevention already.
Okay. Already. Yeah.
So I said, okay. And then people would see, little things we were doing. Most of it was related to just, telling people how to dispose of their prescription drugs properly.
Yeah.
So they don't get misused by their kids and stuff. And eventually people were saying, all the stuff you're doing, organizations have been formed that are coalitions that do that stuff. Yeah. And so slowly but surely.
What year was that?
Got it going. 2017, 2016. There was a video that had come to us through, I want to say the United States, I think it was in the United States Attorney's Office.
Okay.
If I'm saying that right. And they were bringing this traveling video called Chasing the Dragon about people that are experiencing issues with heroin and opioids, etc. And even though it was like a government video, it really did make an impression upon me. They showed it in Orange County.
How did it make an impression on you? Like, how so?
Just seeing what people were going through from all different backgrounds. I guess I had never sat down and really watched. I worked on the prevention end, but I never really watched on the other end of what happens, other than what you see televised, in fictional things.
You mean what happens with the whole family?
With the whole
not
family,
just the person,
not just the person.
That's abused. That's abusing
just
drugs. Yeah.
By extension, these things that happen. I had a friend that did die from a drug poisoning or overdose. It's still
I never knew
lurking.
that.
Yeah, my best
friend.
Back
then?
Yeah, my best friend in 2008.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Now, were you doing real estate then, or were you doing prevention then, or?
I was doing both back then. So I did real estate, and then when the market started looking weird around that time,
you made a shift.
I was like,
sometimes you got to shift for a couple dollars. Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna keep doing this, but I'm gonna need something on my, pocket. So I'm gonna need something on a side hustle.
Oh yeah. Well, you a man of faith. In Genesis, you need a few rivers. I need a few rivers flowing. I need a few streams of income. Yeah. So that's crazy. So I thought it was other reasons that we'll dig into that made it personal. Your best friend died of an overdose.
A mixture.
I mean, dude, we've been crossing, and you've been supporting. We've been working together. I never knew that.
Yeah, it was a mix of things. So he had died of he had gotten into substance misuse, had gotten married, things had gotten rocked when he got married, rocky. Had come back to the area. We were trying to be roommates, so he got himself,
trying to get back on his feet.
Stable, basically. But good family, good support, financially just, decent, stable family. But, addiction's a beast.
Yeah.
And so he ended up relapsing with somebody he had met, in actually one of his rehabilitation programs.
Yeah. I'll say this just because I need to say it now, and we chopping it up, and it's the takeaway, and I hope you're all ready to subscribe and share. But the crazy part about this is like you have this look. That's why I say inspirational. You have this thought process, kind of like what I have with the way I look at some things as well. Like, you had this liberty where you understand addiction and that world to where it can get anybody. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It does not matter where you were raised. Is it good family, bad family, 2-parent, 1-parent? You've been around the game long enough and seen that addiction doesn't really have any boundaries, right? No. It could get any of us if we're not careful.
It's
right?
Anybody.
Yeah.
I've seen it in my own life and family and friends. I've seen it just in clients I work with now. So with the coalition, we put out stuff about preventing it. So we get kids involved in all these different activities, art, music, sports, whatever, to prevent it. But I also, like I mentioned to you earlier, I wanted to get that other side too. I'm like, what am I trying to prevent? The real. The
real. You went the real.
Right now. What I'm really, because you can put the messages out, right?
Yeah.
And you can see it televised, like I said. You could see, different people tell you stories, but I'm like, I want to see what's going on. So in more recent years, I started working with a clinic where I'm doing addiction counseling, and I see the real. All different demographics now, black, white, whatever. People with money, people experiencing homelessness. And the commonality is still there as to how much I think people don't understand how much that can grab you. So part of my mission is I don't want anyone to end up losing their best friend. We talked before about my brother, his situation, which wasn't so heavy on the using side, but getting involved with somebody on the dealing side that was trying to get him to, steal stuff from a pharmacy, and naive kid from a good family.
Yeah.
Caught up, and
he ended up doing a little time.
He did quite a bit, yeah. So when he came, and more than that, he's actually, I always say he's got a life sentence because he got shot by the police exiting the pharmacy. And has been paralyzed from the waist down ever since. Still did time. We went to court. At the time, I didn't have, a whole bunch of resources. I was working, moving and shaking in there, but I did what I could do.
You wasn't 2025 Stanley.
No.
If you make them calls today back then, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you gotta tell the truth.
But I want to say, not to circumvent any justice or anything, but just
to care for your brother.
Just to care for him and give people perspective. But sometimes they don't want to hear perspective if you don't have, some of these resources or names that you're pulling out. But it is what it is. But they gave him 20 years. He spent 8 there. And then finally, 8 years in, I had enough resources to get an attorney that was willing to. I had a few attorneys I spoke to, but one that was willing to go to bat a little bit. This really took a couple letters.
Yeah, really,
and
really.
He was able to get a medical release, for that. But that kind of really brought it home to me where I was like, wow, that could be anybody's family.
So think of this though. Y'all got to listen to this. I'm like, so dude, you went to answering the phone at a real estate office. You're a realtor. Are you a new realtor?
Bring me back. I was in high school, Jarvis. So
really?
I was like 17.
Where you go to high school?
Melbourne High School.
Okay.
Yeah, we're originally from New York and Brooklyn, and then moved when I was in school and stuff. But and just basically responded to an advertisement on the school announcements about, somebody that wanted someone answering their phones.
Okay.
And actually, not even just answering their phones. We were making sales calls at the time.
Okay.
Trying to get leads for this real estate company.
Okay.
Part-time.
Okay.
And I started there, learned, stuff around the office, started saying, I can do this too. I can do this too.
Okay.
I can do that too.
Okay, put me in the game, coach.
Put me in the game. And they changed a few things where you needed your license to make some of these sales calls. So I ended up getting my license, doing like office work, contract work for them, and eventually just started selling houses.
Okay.
So that's how I did that for years.
Okay.
I still have my license. I don't want to ever take that test again.
Okay, ever. Yeah.
I'm keep renewing it.
Yeah. So, and then your friend passes and you're doing prevention already?
Yeah, I started doing prevention work like a year or two before he died, but I was not deep into it.
Yeah.
I was still doing office-based work for the drug prevention program.
Gotcha.
Right? And so even like his mom had given me videos and things to watch because they had known about this problem starting a while ago. And I didn't get to watch all of them. I didn't quite understand. When I thought of somebody on drugs, my opinion, my
crack
stigma
or something. Cocaine.
Yeah. I had seen other things with people with abusing medications, but once again, your view of it from the outside is a little different.
Yeah.
So when it was like basically in my house, I'm like, I don't know what to do. You need to go to rehab. You need to. And I was like other people. I thought they go to rehab, they come out, they get fixed.
Yeah, like all the emotional support and being there with them and allowing them to apologize and sharing their journey and writing the letters instead of like and I think so many people miss that today that like when I went to prison, I went to prison. When I went to prison, my whole family went to prison.
Yeah.
So even though they never served a day, they served 4 years when I served 4 years.
Yeah.
When I went to jail, they went to jail. Like I can remember my little brothers having it's Christmas and they're at the jail. Like, yeah, they buy me something. My mama buy me something at the vending machine. That's a big deal as a visitation.
Yeah.
In prison, like every now their whole Christmas is thrown off because of the poor choices and poor decisions I made. Right.
Life.
So a lot of times in addiction and those who are in recovery or coming out, like it affects the whole family. Yeah. So with working with the clinics and all of that, like I'm pretty sure you see that.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to tell their family they're coming to the clinics because the stigma. And so a big part of what we do as I've like morphed into what I think is effective for addressing this is going to all the communities where it's hardest to talk about. Because there's some communities where culturally, we like, oh, so-and-so is, they just, they're addict or they on drugs or they crazy. And we kind of dismiss some of the other pieces that come into play, with this individual, this human being. We don't.
What are those?
And so, that they're redeemable.
Yeah.
That everybody is redeemable. Now, they may not take the opportunity to accept the redemption. You also can't force it on people. They have to be at some level of But they do, but they have to be at some level of readiness. Some level of readiness. Yeah. And then
they want to.
There you go. I like that too. They have to want to, or at least offer some hand where they like, help me. There's gonna be some cry for help in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean they're always gonna be successful the first, second, third. I learned that with my friend. I thought 28 days, 20 whatever program, it's gonna come out and this is fixed, right? And I've seen over the years how, off that expectation was. It is going to be a constant battle. And I want to make sure people always take that away. People are redeemable. It doesn't mean that you're going to be naive. It doesn't mean that they're not going to lie to you. It doesn't mean they're not going to steal from you or fall back down into the gutter.
It's part of the process. Man. It's part of the process. So you jump into it. You're in the office. You're doing real estate. Then you're in the office part of this prevention stuff, and then you just matured through. You just grew through.
I hope I did.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I'm saying because you were, you were the dude for Eckert's, but you didn't start as the dude. You started.
I did not start, dude. I was actually a part-time administrative assistant.
Okay.
Working for the director of the program.
Okay.
While I still did real estate and was selling houses.
Okay. And then one day you just.
I was doing multiple things. So I did that. I was also doing travel notary closings.
Okay.
I was, dude.
You
I had like 4 or 5 jobs.
Hustler, what
You know, I got little the island in me too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
My grandfather's from Trinidad. Like, it's that work ethic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I had little pieces of everything, and I didn't want anything just full time. I was helping another office do some of their clerical stuff. I worked for an accounting office at the same time.
Okay.
I did multiple things.
You just get into it.
And then the director that I was working for just saw something in me and said, "You can do my job," because he was getting moved up and moved on to different things. Okay. And I said, "Well, I'm only in the administrative side. I'm only just like, yeah, but you know,
you can do this,
how to run this." So you know, shout out to
that's
Richard Rogers.
That's why everybody need a mentor. That's why I need you to mentor me, man. So I get my life together, man.
This mutual mentorship.
Yeah, it's a mutual mentorship. So this is amazing. So then, how did that work? He just mentored you for his job?
He did. I watched everything that he did. I mean, I was always in school, so to speak, with that job. You know, I was always watching, and I could do this, I could do that, and it took some convincing with the powers that be, because they were like, "This is your assistant that didn't have any experience actually doing services, you know, that you want to manage a program over people that have experience doing services." And at that time, we weren't just doing prevention. We were doing family services as well, like supervised visitation. We had a mentoring program of kids that had parents that were incarcerated.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that one.
Remember that?
I don't want to say that one was hot, but that was a big one in the nonprofit world for a while. For a good little minute. It looked like it left and it came back. Yeah, I never got in it, but I had the parents.
Oh yeah.
I had the kids, I had the parents.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that was a cool program.
Yeah.
And then we had a couple things in there, and so I had to prove that, hey, I could manage this, I could do this, you know. So that kind of started me on that path, and so I didn't have as much time for like real estate and the side hustles and things.
Yeah, you had a staff, and how many staff you think you were managing in overall in that org?
At the organization, at the highest point, I had at least a minimum of 20 people.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
And then I used to ask y'all for money and sponsorship and support and partnership. We did a lot together.
We did a lot.
And we helped a lot of families and kids and stuff. Yeah, man, it's cool. Yeah. And they continued on. And
So, I mean, and not to like steal from one of your previous podcasts, but collaboration is key.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's out, you know, trying to stay alive as a nonprofit. And it may be counterintuitive, but you don't stay alive by working in a silo.
No, not at all.
You got to share some of the money, if you can, within the right bounds and all that stuff.
Influence.
But you got
ideas.
You got
space.
Yes.
Because it's like you looking for kids, and I got 100 of them, right? So it's like, what we doing, right?
Come together and figure that out. But
yeah.
So I learned all that stuff along the way, and when I got the opportunity to branch out, some of the things was, once my brother came out of prison, I wanted more control over my own schedule and life things. And I made the decision to say, you know what, let me focus more and more on him, because that was a lot. A lot. I have my mom, I have some family members too that were doing their best to help, but over that time he was in, life had shifted, and I was trying to make my mom like, go live. You know, go do stuff. I'm here. I'm going to do what I can. I need help occasionally. But so anyway, that really brought me around to saying, you know what? I'm going to try this venture on my own. I appreciate all the stuff I learned at Accurate Connects. They're still an amazing organization.
They sure are.
And do amazing things. And the two ladies that, you know, I was overseeing that oversaw the rest of the employees are fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
So I knew it was in good hands. But I went into the coalition thinking, okay, now I'm going to have this to do with my brother. I'm going to have this little coalition with me and maybe one person. And
man, please. I can't even believe
that's
saying
what
that.
I thought, Jarvis. I was like, I'm going to just step back and then, you know, focus on just seeing what my brother needed. Because at the time, that was a mountainous thing.
Gotcha.
I wanted him out of prison.
Yep.
Because he went in and he was like 18, 19 years old. And he spent most of his 20s in jail, prison, in prison. Man, moved around. And I'm like, he has health needs. He's paralyzed. He's got bed sores that haven't healed because the prison system, you know, didn't take care of him medically.
You a good brother, man.
It was a lot.
Nobody told you that. If ain't nobody tell you, man, you a good brother, man.
Besides
being a good brother, a biological brother, you're a good brother. I mean, because
Thank you.
these people ain't gonna stop their life, man.
I prayed about it.
Yeah.
I'm Christian, and I really, really prayed about, okay, what can I do? Give me strength and wisdom to be able to do this. And another reason why I left Anchor, I'm like, this is huge. I need to focus.
Yeah.
And if I have my own thing, not really thinking about all the work that might take, to be honest, then I could just do my own thing, and I'm gonna worry about some of the other things you got to do with higher ups and who are supportive, but still you got to deal with corporate type things with some of the larger organizations. So I took it on, and God helped me through it. I think when I got to this point, I'm like, oh, okay, this is how it's just going to be.
Yeah.
And so get him situated. He's in a nursing home. He still needs care for a lot of the things that are going on, but he's able to take care of a lot of things on his own now.
Yeah.
So
the thing comes to mind, the focus, right? Follow one course until successful. You took off pretty fast though, to be where you are right now, to say you founded it at 18.
Yeah.
I mean, like that wasn't like a.
I have to thank, the foundation I had, obviously with Eckerd Connects, because we were doing a lot of that together when I was still there, because the coalition was still in existence, just wasn't, standing on its own. I have to thank the skills that I got from my faith. I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and just believing in God and the strength and power of Christ to help you, whatever natural talents I may possess.
Yeah, it came from that.
And having to talk to anybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
About religion. That is a tutelage. They say, that's how you get to be able to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
You can. Just to keep me going and to say, all right, you can keep going. Other people are doing this. And that's another thing, not to jump around, but you get I don't know if it's a real thing or not, but they call it imposter syndrome, where you think, I can't ever be at this level of this person. These people know so much. They're so smart.
Yeah.
And as you get older, you're like, man, I'm about that age that they were when I was all impressed with them. How come I'm not like this?
Yeah.
But as you start looking around, I want to tell everybody, other people are not quite what you put them up to be.
Yes.
You have it in you.
Yeah, we all regular people, man, and we all have to put the work in, and we all have to have faith.
Yes.
We all have to put the work. Nobody gets a pass to not put the work in.
There you go.
You get what I mean? We live our life right through relationships and not trying to abuse people and not try. So you may get a break, right? But nobody gets to do this work without relationships, without doing right by people. And if you do wrong by a bunch of people, you will, man.
It comes back.
Man, a good name is better. A good name is, speaking of good name, a good name is better than precious rubies. You know what I'm saying? People would rather have a good name, somebody with a good name, than somebody with the best skills, right?
Yeah.
And that's why all the awards I received were like your leftovers, because
here you go.
You got them all first. You know what I mean? So
Jarvis, your name was everywhere I went.
On, man,
I was
stop.
like, have you worked with Pastor Wash? Have you worked with Jarvis Wash? I was like,
stop, man.
yeah, I know Jarvis, but I know Jarvis. he's he's a busy guy. Maybe I can get an audience with him.
Come on, man.
But you were already running and doing stuff. I know it's supposed to be about me, but you were running and doing stuff out on the street. Your sleeves were already proverbially rolled up in there with the people.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. I never want to get to that point where I am not with the people I am serving at some level.
At some level.
In order to grow, you have to be able to dedicate, and delegate things to other people.
Yes.
But you still need to have your hands in the work somehow.
Somehow, yeah. I put it like this. I try to keep one foot in the problem and one in the solution.
Okay.
So that's kind of how I look at it. I wanna be able to talk to the CEO or the sheriff, right, or the city councilman.
Yeah.
But I still want to be able to talk to the addict or the person that did the crime, or the person that's selling the drugs, or the person that fired the gun, because he needs ministry too.
Yes.
And sometime before the sheriff or the police department or whoever go in and do their job, maybe the local pastor or the neighborhood guy can do his job. And there have been instances where we've been able to walk people out of places, or get people to shelter, or to jail without them kicking in their grandmother's door and everybody's house, right? Like, so, hey, they looking for you. Let's be 21 about this. Let's go do this. So I don't know. It's my deal. It's weird, you know, because I could ride in the car with the police all around town, and then I can go put my feet up on the stove, right, and kick it with the boys. So it's a unique place to live, but I've lived on both sides. This has nothing to do with our conversation today, but everything to do with our conversation today. The day that we're recording this podcast is my son's birthday. So he would have been 40 years old today, and he's been gone, I think, 20 years. I was a youth pastor, and so I have a plan tonight to have a big thing at the house, and we gonna eat Fruity Pebbles for dinner. I ain't told my wife. That was his favorite deal.
That's
Fruity Pebbles, and
it's simply beautiful.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. So it's this stuff is full circle for me, just like it is for you. It's heartfelt. It's a story behind it, and we did it before we started getting paid good.
You gotta bring it up.
But we gotta talk about the money.
We gotta talk about money.
Man, because if you don't get the money, we can't help the people.
And you got, and I take it even like, I gotta take care of myself so that I can take care of others, right? You cannot neglect yourself. A lot of people that start up whether it's some sort of nonprofit or a ministry or whatever, they will run themselves into the ground. And the passion is appreciated,
I've done that before.
Right? Yeah, the passion's appreciated, but then you get miserable, you have health problems, and you need a program.
You got a light bill too.
Yeah, you have a light bill. You got to take care of yourself.
I used to do stupid stuff like that. I used to pay people light bill and then put mine on, I don't know
like
what you
a
call
payment
it.
plan?
Yeah, on a payment plan. Yeah, I've done that. But that was so stupid. Shout out to my wife who loved me even then, but that's never happening again, by the way. But, yeah.
I'm sure your wife too would be like,
yeah.
But you gotta help, because if somebody
light bill
needs,
in a long
and I'm
time.
gonna use this as a general, but if somebody needs a place to stay to be taken in, and you don't got electricity,
Absolutely.
you can't help them, right? If you're taking someone in there support, there's a balance with all of that.
Yeah.
I've learned balance is the key to a lot of those things. Is not expending yourself to that point. Like my mom said, you can't be all things to all people, but still not be true to yourself and help yourself. You got to be able to balance that out. And so, like what you mentioned earlier too, just really struck a chord with me, is trying to get that message out in a way that they're going to receive it. They receive it from you because they see that you're real with it, that you're going to go put your feet up on the stoop, talk to them, but also do the ride-alongs from all parts. And one of the initiatives we're trying to do, it's Moving to Light is the name of it, is help
Plug it in, man. Go ahead. Line it up, boy.
I got to
line it up.
Just to understand the structure, we have these three-pronged approach that I'm trying to push everything through, and Moving to Light is one of them.
Okay.
I'm working on the website, movingtolight.org. Right now it's like a page of our coalitions, but it's getting that stigma addressed, because there's so many families that could get the help. So whether you're dealing with it because it's your son, your uncle, your sister, brother, whoever that's struggling with addiction, hiding in shame with that issue is not going to get any help to you. It's not going to make that a positive outcome.
The whole "what happened in my house, stay in my house."
Stay in my house. It doesn't mean that you just carelessly throw your business in the street.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like they say, though, you're always as sick as your secrets, or as you, keeping that stuff.
You're only as sick as your secrets.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, just once again, doesn't mean that you just carelessly give information out to those, to whom it does not belong to do anything with, right? But at the same time, hiding that can block the help. It can block the blessings.
So how do we move in the light? How we do that?
Moving to light.
Move me into the light, man. Move me into the light.
Being open with your stories as best as you can.
Okay.
Whether you're someone struggling with addiction or struggling with whatever else, mental health issues, or you're someone that is, I would say, like close to that person.
A partner, a
spouse, family member.
Okay.
Other people are very open about, and I say other people, I'm trying to be careful here.
Yeah. Well, this the takeaway, man. You talk how you want to talk, but they gonna see it.
They're gonna see it. But I'm
Yeah.
just being. This is just me not trying to be controversial, but just trying to be just factual. Other demographics have been very open for years about getting mental health support. We're just
Therapy is not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing.
I see my therapist.
Addiction support is not a bad thing.
Addiction support.
The majority of the clients I see where I happen to be located are not people of any color. Like they're not majority, not all.
90% of them.
A lot of them have been. Now that just could be my. I'm not there all day every day, right? But and that's not saying that Black people or people of different ethnicities that are not white are excluded from that. I just think that the messaging within our own communities.
So we need to normalize talking about mental health. Normalize talking about. It needs to be normal to talk about I'm feeling this way or I came out of this.
Reduce the stigma.
And as a family, as a community, we need to know how to support that. Some people don't know how. I deal with people getting out of jail and prison and they don't know that.
Yeah.
They got to see their probation officer. They got an ankle brace on their thing. They have to start over. They got to go register with the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
Their probation officer can come into your home if they live there. They don't think like that. They think you serve your time, you out. You serve your time, you do. No, it's a process even when you get out. And
it's a process and a journey.
How do you teach us to help us, right? Because we have to help us, right? After they go to the AA meeting, after they go to therapy, after then as a family, right? As a community, we need to be able to. Yeah.
It's not rocket science. Like everybody knows it, but it's one of the hardest things to do. They say some of the most important conversations to have and some of the hardest things to say are the most important, but we don't say it.
We don't say it.
Right? And so that's the phrase. Like some of the most important things that need to be said are the hardest to say.
Yeah.
Even if it's just an apology to someone. Right? Yeah. And so what we do is we go to the communities. We bring all that education to them. We show them, hey, insurance companies are paying for some of these services, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You got it. You're paying for insurance, be it, commercial insurance, Medicaid, whatever you're on. Why are you not utilizing this? These things are here for you. I'm working with Terrell, who works for me as well. And she's, had her own experience with her sister dying of fentanyl poisoning.
Yes.
And so she's been bringing that story out to those communities that are underserved, under-resourced, regardless, of race or demographic. There's a lot of communities that are underserved and under-resourced that don't get that information.
And, man, people ain't trying to die; they just trying to get high that day, right? But not being, they ain't trying to die.
No.
You know what I mean? Like they weren't trying to overdose.
No.
But then I don't know, man, if it's this county or just, but it seemed like in other counties they talk about it more. Not prevention, not you're doing an amazing job with that. I mean, like when it happens, we don't hear it. You get what I mean?
Yeah,
like if somebody overdosed and we don't hear about it.
Well, it depends on the venue, right? So culturally, some regions are very cagey about it. If we talk about it, that means we're going to be stigmatized as a county.
Yes.
Oh, that's the drug county, or that's the numbers went up anyway a few years ago in Brevard. Brevard was way up there. I want to say within the past 5 years, the numbers were not looking good because what do we say? It festers to the top anyway, no matter what you polish it off with at the top, right? So I think that more can always be done to, once again, normalize. I think more is happening now, where we have the Recovery Fest that kind of started with our organization, and then now, it's its own organization, really, which is amazing.
That's what you do, though, man. You come in as the jumper cables to a lot of these guys.
Because I can't do everything. So, get it started.
They need the jumper cables, man.
I'm like, all right. But I learned that because I was trying to do everything. But I learned,
you got it.
Let this individual, take this project, whatever it may be, because they have what it takes to keep it going.
That's back up again in September or something, right?
It is. Yeah, it is. It is. Laura McCarthy is overseeing that now. And then it's going to be indoors, I think, for the first time this year.
Yes, it was hot last year.
Melbourne Auditorium.
I went last year. It was hot.
Yeah, Wickham Park.
Yeah, it was hot. No, it was hot.
It's been, I know.
Was it in September last year?
It was, but it was still hot.
It felt like July. It felt like it was in July.
In Florida, a lot of times, September and October will surprise you.
Yeah.
They will be hot.
Yeah, it was an amazing event. I mean, I met a lot of people in the field that housing providers, drug programs, various ones I met that day.
That's an example of it, though. Pulling everybody together, people in recovery, people that are there to help, law enforcement, so they could see each other as people and not as the problem. Whether the problem is you don't like cops or the problem is you think that everybody who has an addiction issue is just,
these
not
regular
worth the
people,
time.
man. Yeah, these regular
Everybody's
people.
regular people. So that's one of our main initiatives. It's like prevention/intervention, because I always feel like it's familial. Like, you have to be generational with your prevention. There's people in the family now that are dealing with those issues. They have kids, so in order to help their kids, you have to get support to the entire family.
And a lot of times, mama that has a daughter on drugs, or daddy that has somebody come out of jail, or something, like they need those resources as well. They need to know that they're not the only ones,
right?
And they don't have to keep it to themselves, right? So you got moving in the light, and then
yes, that's that one we just talked about. The other one is I Choose Me, which is on the other end of the spectrum. It's super early intervention, prevention with
kids,
elementary age and their families.
Okay.
We created so many different family activities. We partnered with Brevard Cultural Alliance last year, and we did I Choose Art.
Okay.
So we also did I Choose Sports with the US AAA. I think I'm saying that right.
Yeah, US AAA.
I think that is the stadium up there, the sports complex. We did I Choose Music with Brevard Symphony Orchestra. And we got instruments into the hands of kids that normally would not have that opportunity.
Nice.
And so those are some of the things we keep doing with community centers and work with
you're doing a good job, man. You're doing a good job. And you try to take it to the trenches, too.
That's where it got to be. That's
yeah,
where it has
man.
to be.
Yeah.
Everybody is redeemable, right? If they take advantage of, the hope being extended to them. And everybody's experience impacts us as a society. So if you're someone that has a strictly fiscal mind and you're like, man, my taxes or whatever it is, well, what do you think is a drain on some of taxpayers' dollars? Caring for some of these individuals that have increased health issues because of that issue. A lot of people don't experience that in a vacuum either. They've got mental health issues occurring with the addiction issues.
So the I Choose Me, and then you have Moving into Light.
And one more.
Yeah. And what else?
So I Choose Me, iChooseMe.com.
iChooseMe.com.
Plug it in.
Okay.
But we have Better Without It, which actually is collaborative between this county, Seminole, Orange, and Osceola.
Okay. So you're in 4 counties. And how many states?
Yes. You're just going to keep. We're working on a couple things. So right now we're in California as well. I have some staff out there working with us, specifically more on the I Choose Me piece.
Okay.
And some of the Moving to Light stuff. Better Without It, which is right now under Central Florida Cares. They do basically the services for substance abuse and mental health. I say services. They're the funding agency.
Yes, they are the managing entity.
Yes, they are the managing entity through which Department of Children and Families puts their substance abuse and mental health dollars in.
Okay.
There's, let's say, several managing entities around the state. I keep forgetting the exact number, like 7 maybe. But they are overseeing Better Without It, but I'm working as like the implementation lead from the coalition side on that. Okay. How are these services being done? And Better Without It is for that in-between group. So we talked about the little kids with I Choose Me, and then the families that may be dealing with addiction issues and other stuff with Moving to Light. Better Without It is that Gen Z, now to be Gen Alpha. So they're ages like 13 through 24, 25.
Yeah.
Very cynical, been marketed to all their life. You got to like learn their language to communicate with them.
Yes.
And
they don't talk, they text.
And they barely text. Like my nephew sent me a text one day.
Emojis.
I had to call my sister. Like, what is your son writing?
Oh, and if they talk on the phone, they FaceTime. They don't call regular. They FaceTime you. Like y'all got to look at each, and then they won't even be looking at each other. The phone be over there, but they call FaceTime. They call FaceTime.
It's very interesting way.
Yeah, and we'll keep calling. Just FaceTime.
It's like, so Better Without It. So their website is betterwithout.it.
Hit it one more time. Better Without It. Better Without.
Yeah, Better Without It, and it's betterwithout.it.
Okay.
It is really designed for Gen Z. The look, the image, the feel, the colors. Not your typical marketing of, some of the government campaigns, don't do drugs.
Yeah.
Those messages work with people, probably mostly with people that it was going to work with already. Not all, but for the most part. You got some protective factors, you're going to respond to that stuff. Most of the kids today, you tell them don't do, they're gonna do the opposite.
Let me see.
Or challenge
Yeah,
you.
let
Or
me see. I'm trying to see something.
let me see. Or just to spite you, And so our message is more about empowerment, public, positive youth development. Trying to say, okay, this is what you can be, and have them see the natural contradiction to what the other direction takes them to. That's all. And once again, this is nothing new that we just invented, but I think it gets lost sometimes. We start adulting as we get older, and adult languaging things, and kids are sitting there listening to these messages that were given to them in front of a chalkboard, and like.
Hey, so this is really good, man. It's like you not missing a beat, bruh. It's like on this addiction, mental health stuff. I mean, it's like, so we moving in the light, right? We taking away the stigma. Okay, I choose me. We starting as a kid, making it be okay, to talk about, these factors that may cause you to do whatever.
Proper coping mechanism.
Yeah, how to cope with it. But then you better without it. So that's like saying, hey, been there, done that. You're gonna do way better without this.
Yeah.
And this is why, and building a culture. I love it, man.
We want the kids to see, they already are, into those kind of messages. They all want to be influencers and show how, the swag they got, the Brizz, like they would say, that they already have. And so better without it is definitely reflecting that. You're already better without it. You don't need anything to do to raise your profile or any
you gotta get shot 5 times.
You don't gotta get shot. You ain't gotta be high. You don't have to come out of a stupor and have like, what did I do last night? And who did I do it with? You don't need to experience any of that stuff. So that's what Better Without It is about, for that in-between generation that's still trying to figure themselves out, but already having exposure to some of these harder things. I tell you what, something else we're doing through Better Without It, we were approached by the Brevard Public Schools.
Okay.
Brevard Public Schools.
You've been in the schools for a while.
Even through Eckerd, we did a lot with the schools, and we now have a diversion program.
Okay.
For first-time offenders, they'll call it, right? Kids that get caught with, vaping paraphernalia, vaping THC, and so. So
this is this is aside from like an ALC or something,
yes,
or you're going to be
aside
the
from the ALCs, because there will be no more ALCs, I think, for this upcoming school year.
Okay.
I think that's public knowledge.
Okay.
I think it is. They're going a different direction. So, but right now, yes, as the ALCs exist. ALCs are the option if this is not their first time.
Yes.
If it's their first time, the parent and the child can opt to come through our diversion program, which is after school. Okay. The benefit is they get to stay in their school. They don't get sent to an ALC.
Got you. Now, is that the thing, what's her name was doing? I think I spoke at that one time. Maybe not.
Tina or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I spoke at that one time. Yeah. I spoke at that one time.
Absolutely. Yeah. We try to bring in people.
Yeah. That's amazing.
That was the youth empowerment leadership part of it.
Yeah.
So it's an 8-week program. The school still has them on some restrictions as far as what they can do with extracurriculars, but they get to stay in their school and be around those things that are giving them strength that they may even realize it, passively at times, indirectly. And it's a group counseling. Format with a facilitator to help them work through that.
Tina's a beast. Shout out to Tina.
Shout out to Tina, Miss Tina. And the other counselors too at the other location.
Yeah, all of them.
Shout out to all y'all,
everybody. Yeah, I don't know y'all.
But Tina takes a large role in that too. And shout out to all the people at Peace Club and Denny that helped me with those components. And so they really enjoy it by the end. The kids come in and don't want to do anything. Right? They're like,
I gotta come to this.
I gotta come to this. And having to get there, et cetera. But it really helps them get to the root of what is causing the behavior. A lot of times we just address behavior. We
don't get to the root.
We don't get to the root. Behavior and punishment. Individuals don't usually wake up and say, I think I'll be addicted to drugs today.
Never.
Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't, it just, things happen and it spirals to that. And so part of that Better Without It initiative is put into that program to have them find creative ways of expressing themselves, presenting projects to their peers, and figuring out and working out, sometimes graphically,
getting to the core of
what's going on with this.
Do you still do the, is it called? It was a group called that you brought to the county. Motivational Edge? Do you still kind of?
We work with them, yes.
yeah.
I'm trying to remember
fire.
the last thing we did with them, but that's what we really try to do with the Prevention Coalition is let's reach out and find these people that are doing amazing things that connect with the kids. Motivational Edge.
Yeah.
They're down in South Florida. I think their headquarters. They're up here. They're up here as well.
Yeah, they're around here.
They're around here too.
I think I went to their grand opening or something there in Vero some years ago.
They do an amazing work. So a lot of the stuff they do is, I'll mention one, is the lyrical workshop. Getting the kids to express themselves lyrically through poem or song, but then recording it like to hot beats.
Yeah.
And
That's dope.
like professionally in a studio like this, and showing them, hey,
shout out to Soap
this is
Studios.
something. Shout out to Soap Studios.
Yeah.
Like this is what you could do.
Yeah.
And for the kid that never had that experience, to see that and say, wow, I can do this. And then to hear it. And to hear it.
Yeah, we brought them one time to our church for like our VBS or something like that. They came up with a song, Real Church, and it was good, man. But they were so excited just to write in part and get it together.
Yes.
Yeah. Man, so what's next?
What's next is just considering where we go now that we're, and I didn't even get to talk about that, but Better Without It is now adopted by the state of Kentucky.
Oh, wow.
As their official prevention messaging.
Okay, nice.
And so to be a part of that.
And that's your name. Like that's under Better Without It. You went and got that.
Well, I Choose Me and Move Into Light. Better Without It, I'm a part of it.
Okay.
But Central Florida Cares is running that too. But I'm definitely a part of that. And part of the team that's going and implementing that and meeting with the individuals that are helping push that out from the
and that's age
Attorney
13
General.
or what?
It's like age 13 to 25, 26. It's that range of age, for those kids in Gen Z and now soon to be Gen Alpha. I'm getting old, man. But now to be Gen Alpha.
So Gen Alpha is 13? Is that
a few of them are about 12 and 13 now. That's after
12
Gen
and
Z
13 is Alpha.
and younger.
Okay.
So that's the generation coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just make sure I got my G's right. Okay.
Google it.
Right.
Well, you can see the years that they were born, etc.
I'm gonna call Stanley. I can't keep up.
That's a generational thing, right?
Yeah.
The millennial, Gen X, the millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha is here now, coming up and talking grown and trying to tell us that they don't need us.
That's
but
big deal.
Kentucky, and we appreciate them. They saw us at a summit that we went to in Atlanta.
Did you get an award there too?
Table. Here you go.
Dude, you probably got an award there.
I got an award at Tennessee.
See?
I got an award the one at Tennessee, and then I was speaking at one of those other ones.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm glad to be a vessel to be used.
Hey, let them use it. Let them use it
to promote.
Yes.
But yeah, they liked it and adopted it, and it's interesting that we're using it in our counties here in Central Florida, but our whole state saw it.
Yeah,
and saw
man, the world need it, man.
And so that's what we're trying to just be those people that bring that message out there. I always say. I do not see myself as a savior. God, right?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ and God do that, right? Yeah. Jesus Christ is the Savior. God does that. But we are tasked, right, with emulating and imitating that love and trying to bring it off to people, over to people so that they can see that they have hope, that they can be redeemed. In their lives, wherever that looks like for them.
Absolutely. Hey, on another note, dude, you can't keep being Brevard Prevention Coalition if you in all these states and doing other stuff. So you can't be Brevard Prevention in Orlando. So we
might be. Yeah, we're kicking that around. The name change. Yeah. Thanks for bringing me back to that because I was going there and I went off on the trail a little bit. But
it's all good.
But we're gonna start exploring.
Yeah, because you're not limited to Brevard.
We are not. We're in Seminole County right now, officially through an agreement with them. We're working with Orange County. Now, Orange County has, through their government, a drug-free coalition, but we work with them with the Better Without It message and other things. So we're, Osceola as well. We're working with, their providers and trying to bring them information because it needs to be shared.
Absolutely. The message got to get out, man. We can't limit this good message to Brevard County. It's spread. So did you think you would be here? So you said it was just you and one other person. You was gonna take care of your brother. But did you think you'll be here?
I did not. I didn't plan that. I had to start planning, but I didn't plan that. But the need was there. So many people, we get calls by parents, and we're not a hotline, but we get called.
They find you.
And yeah, like
the need finds you.
My teenager is, addicted to this drug, or they're acting out in this way. I found this in there. I don't even know what this drug paraphernalia is. All these things, they're calling, to the point to where a lot of these teens nowadays need treatment.
Yeah.
Like levels of treatment that are beyond prevention. So we do a good job referring people out. But I saw that need, and I said, man, let's just keep trying to meet it, and pulling others in, like yourself, that can help us meet it.
Yeah.
Use what's existing here to do that. So yeah, and it's blossoming and going in different directions,
so
man.
The next move is just expansion and managing these three huge arms that you're already doing right now. So completely nothing to do with it. So you dating anybody? You got somebody
man,
you got somebody on the way? Because you can't do all
I
this
have time? I don't have time. I don't have time.
You got to make time.
You find somebody that aligns with. I'm messing with you. I don't need that help. But no, I never had time.
Okay.
But someone that mentioned, it's interesting you bring that up, because I was talking to someone, I think yesterday, about our prevention initiatives and things like that. And I feel full. I don't feel empty, in life, because I've filled it with these other things.
Got you.
And there's times where you think about, like, man, I could have, made a family and got married. And
dude, you ain't that old. What you talking about? It ain't too late. What you talking about?
I don't know if I want no kids.
Hold on. You got kids at work. I ain't talking about having no kids. I'm talking about being married. I'm talking about having
that I could do. That I could do.
That's what I'm talking about. This job is now. We can't just talk all this work stuff.
This is how I think, though. I think, like,
she gonna be another arm.
I'm gonna do this.
No, she gonna be like 8 arms.
But there's times where I do want kids, where I'm like, man, it'd be great to have kids at this point that are already.
Well, you go to the gym and stuff.
Teenagers, and I've already had them raised, and they're, it could be a blessing in that sense. But what I was saying is that I am a self-proclaimed workaholic, so that's been a part of the thing.
So you got to meet her on the job.
Or I'd have to balance some things out so I can meet her.
Yeah, that's good. You balance everything else out. It'll be all right. Let me fix my glasses. It'll be all right.
That's the point that I'm getting at this point. Like, I'm like, all right, let me I'm getting older and starting to get wiser with time management and delegation, because I wanted to do everything.
Yeah, because maybe at one of these functions she'll be over there eating cheese and crackers.
I attend a place of worship. I am sure I could find plenty of options that hopefully will even consider me. But yeah, that's something to always think about. It would be great to have, somebody riding with you to help.
Yeah, you pray for everything else. Let's put this on the prayer list.
But I always say,
put it on the prayer list.
I always say, though, whether I continue single or I do find that person to marry, I will always feel complete. I'll always make sure that I am.
Yeah, 2 whole people make one. Not two. Yeah, people ain't walking around. Yeah,
exactly.
I need Lois to have her time. I need to have my time, and then we need to have our time.
I'll always be full. Always feel full, because I feel like and once again I feel blessed to be able to do what I can do, and I feel that God will bless me to feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
And no matter which direction I go, in life, single or not single. So,
but you open to not being single.
Especially
because I'm gonna talk about it. We ain't gonna be talking about all this stuff and the people, and not talk about the people that help people. Yeah, we need to be all right too.
I'm always open, but of course, I gotta be, meet. I have to meet not just the person, but I gotta meet the moment.
Yeah,
so to speak. So
well, you be in the moment,
and also be what do you call it? Analyze the options.
Okay. Have you had some bad options in the past? Yes. Hey, look, this is funny.
When
they talk about who God put together, let no. Sometimes we got with a what, not a who. It wasn't who. It was a what. It was a what.
Y'all, this is too much fun. Oh man.
Yeah. Well, was it a who and not a what, or what, not a who?
But you got to make it work. When the matrimony happens, you just have to make it work, right? At that point, right? You got to figure out. It's like, so yeah, because you could end up in a.
Ooh, and man, you got a lot. When you get to this level, you got a lot to lose. You You know what I'm saying? Over some foolishness. You know what I'm saying?
You do. And I've
Over
seen
what,
some,
not a who, or who and not a
I
what.
have a lot of friends that have made really good choices. And then I got some.
They make really bad choices.
And had to live with them for a long time,
Yeah.
you know, and still it's dealing with it in some situations. So it is definitely.
Fine ain't even fine no more. Like,
No.
you could be fine, and that don't even mean that
Isn't
no
that-
more. We don't
tell
care
it.
that you fine.
Tell it.
You could buy fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares? For real.
But, like,
me and our age these days, man, we ain't.
What I
Man,
saw
please,
is-
I'm so glad I'm married. But man, don't nobody care. The guys I'm counseling, I'm talking.
No.
You want somebody that care, that walk with you, right? That
Well, the beauty comes out when you see those inner qualities, right? That obviously you got to have an initial attraction, but
Yeah.
the beauty that you're trying to get, that's that whatever superficial thing
Yeah.
that's probably got nothing inside.
Got you.
That comes out of that right person.
Yeah.
And the person that you just get with because you know she fine or she this and that.
Yeah.
All of a sudden don't start looking that good after.
Bow-legged ain't just that.
few
You know
of
what I'm saying? Cause she bow-legged. Cause she
Y'all,
knock-kneed.
how we get here?
You know what I'm saying?
But-
we went to talk about everything.
Well, let's talk about
We
everything.
gotta be.
But that's a true point, and that's something
Yeah.
for young people to know too as well.
Yeah.
It's not all about that, you know, Instagram,
Yeah.
you know, fine or that whatever. You gotta
Filter
really
is the filter. It's
yes,
obviously beyond the filter.
yeah. 'Cause
So I brought that up because we didn't talk about it with the camera on, but we talk about it, and we talked about taking care of ourselves. We talked about, you know, being what we need to be for ourselves, right? And I mean that. I mentioned that because, man, we're humans.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
we got to take breaks too, and vacations too, and hire more staff too, man. It's been an absolute pleasure chopping it up with you, man.
You as
I'm gonna renew
well.
your contract, man. You coming back?
Oh,
You
I get to
coming
come back?
Yeah, man. I'm
yeah, there's
renewing
more
your
to talk about.
Yeah.
There's so much going on. It's hard to obviously stay like in one pocket, but
Yeah.
it's all good. We covered it. We covered it, and I definitely want to second that about taking care of yourself. And I take my trips and stuff. I've gotten
Yeah, I know.
Gotten
You
them
been.
in.
Oh, I'm taking 3 weeks. I'm in so and so. Yeah, I know.
some of those, but see, some of those end
It's
up being
work.
working vacations.
Yeah.
you know, at the same time. But you know, this occasion I get to
turn
turn that off there, and
Turn it off
I
for
did
a
that a
minute.
couple times. So yeah.
And it's needed.
Oh, it's definitely
Yeah,
needed.
man, we got to put our life on the charger, right?
Definitely
and
need it.
get the juice we need. So if you're a family member of someone struggling with addiction, if you're a person that's having mental health issues or addiction issues, if you're a kid or you have a kid that's struggling or being influenced between the ages of 13 to 24, or if you're just in a school or in a neighborhood and you need to learn skills at a young age, or even as a parent, a family wrapping around them, they can talk to you.
Anybody, absolutely.
Yeah. And how do they get to you? And what's the easiest way for them to get? I know you got 35 websites, but no, what's the easiest way for them to get to you?
Stage rolling.
And then if you could really tell us what's your why as we close today.
Sure. So brevardprevention.org right now. Just go to our website. There's a contact link at the bottom. You can email us at info@brevardprevention.org, and we will try to connect you with whatever you need. We don't provide all of the services, but we can connect you.
It's there.
It's there. Other organizations meet with us, you know, regularly. We meet every other month as a group, as a coalition of agencies to help people in the best way we can. So reach out, please reach out.
Okay, so speak to the camera, talk to the people, and as we close today, and tell us your why. Why?
So my why is that everyone is, I would say, deserving of hope. And you can take that to be in the little things and in large things. Everyone is. And so if we can be those that offer hope to others, why not? And so I do that. It fills you, and it also helps them. So that's my why. I've lived and seen so many people lose hope in themselves before they've even given themselves a shot at life. You know, things happened to you as a kid, or maybe in your family life, etc., that sets you off on the wrong path. And so help inspire hope and help see hope in others. I think it's very important for people to realize this too, that the only person you are destined to become is who you choose to be. So thinking about that and letting that be it your why or what propels you forward into hope.
Stanley Brizz, y'all. Stanley Brizz. Amazing time today, man. Thanks for coming. Thanks for chopping it up, sitting on the couch with us at the Takeaway. Hey, we'll see y'all soon.
Yo, the Takeaway podcast is designed to educate and uplift outside the realm of the pulpit. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time.
And while y'all at it, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I want you to be the first to be notified when we drop new content. And remember to hit that like button. It's free 99. Why not? And while you at it, share it. We want this to get out to Lottie Dottie and everybody.